Hi guys, it's me, TONIK, and you asked me to play more battleships because apparently destroyers are way too easy, and I always play destroyers, so why don't you play some big battleships instead? And the reason I don't normally play big battleships is because I'm not great in big battleships, and lots of people who play big battleships all the time are much better than me, and so I didn't think it would make for any decent level of content. But I've been out, I've been practicing, I've been sticking to ships that I'm comfortable playing. So here we've got the Massachusetts, we run a New Jersey with Cunningham and Revel, and we're on Sleeping Giant, which, as you know, all the battleships normally stack up at the bottom end of sea cap and just sit there trading blows until somebody gets a bit of an advantage, and then everybody just makes a whole lemming train round the map. I'm not going to do that, and to be honest, I think I was playing this game wrong because, as I've done before in battleships, I've tended to play them more like a destroyer, and that's not quite right. But knowing how awful it is being a destroyer in these games, I decide that I'm going to try and get myself in a position where I can saw a destroyer. You can see me talking on the mic, and I'm sort of thinking, okay, which way do I go? Because I don't just want to sit on the end of an island, because that is not a game, is it? You don't want to watch a ship parked for 15 minutes, just firing a salvo every 25 to 30 seconds. One of the things that I did here is on the first mod slot, I actually used the turret traverse rather than secondaries, and RNG is going to screw me a little bit on this one, and that decision not to extend the range of the secondaries is probably going to cost me a kill or two, but we'll get into the game. We're going to push forward, and as is always the case with this map, we can see there that red team are all stacking up at the end of the island, but they are going to try and push into sea cap. Now we've got 3 destroyers on each team, and that should be 1 destroyer for each cap, but it's not exactly going to work that way, is it? Because it never works that way. Summers takes a kill and gives himself a first blood, torpedoing somebody who ran straight into the cap, but it looks like red team are being aggressive on that flank, and with a Brandenburg pushing the flank, that destroyer does not really want to be out there. But we've got guns on the Colorado, and we are actually pushing towards B cap, which I know at this moment you're all saying is incredibly insane, because nobody plays B-cap, because all it does is it puts you into a crossfire from either flank, and before you know it, you are dead. And that may be the case, but when you look at the way that the team is spread out, do I really want to be in this game? And the answer was no, I didn't, and this was kind of a little bit of a YOLO. And I know that I've got 3 ships there behind me to the other side of ACAP, and I think that might be a full division. So I think, well, okay, what am I going to do here? I am going to push straight in, try and take B cap, and see where these guys have been aggressive and push forward. They can't get any further forward, and so I am going to try and come in on their flank. So whereas it looks like it would be me that is caught in the middle with 2 sets of flanking fire coming at me, which I am pretty much at this moment in time, it's not a very comfortable place to be. But we're going to blind shot that, Georgia. Do we get a kill? I think we fired before. Yeah, there we go. Citadel, boom. So we fire the guns, we get a kill. We've got some damage on the card, but I'm moving incredibly slowly. And as I said, our destroyer that did go into ACAP, which I think was a Blawichka, just sat there waiting, and he has now been taken care of. We've lost the battleship that went round that corner as well. So I am very much piggy in the middle, and I tend to do this and put myself into these situations and then curse myself, and sometimes I'll F and blind, which is a northern saying. I don't know if they say it anywhere else, but yeah, cursing myself for putting myself into this position. So rather than sit here and get battered from behind and battered from the front, I'm going to push straight through. And you can still see that all these guys are still sat at the bottom end of that island. It is just a complete cluster duck. But we're going to get some shots onto that lovely broadside Colorado there. Who else have we got? We've got the Colorado. I can't remember what else we've got here. But this guy here is shooting HE at me. I'm sure that was main battery HE. But we're going to push. We're getting shot from the rear. I'm going to leave this burn, and I'm not going to damage control. I'm going around the corner at 3 battleships. But it looks like this guy's dead in the water, but I don't think he is. I think he's just off on the flank shooting over. We get some shots on him. We get another kill. That's 2. And we're coming around the corner onto this North Carolina, who is indeed firing high explosive off his main guns. And yeah, you know what we're going to do to him for doing that, because we know his next salvo is either going to be high explosive as well, or he's going to be taking 30 seconds to reload some armor piercing, but we aren't going to give him the chance to do that. And so we are going a hang a hard right, and oh look, there's the rest of the team and the destroyer, the only destroyer left in the game. So they have finally decided that they're going to move, because they're in a bad spot and they're in a bad way. But having pushed through from B cap all the way to C cap, I think that I deserve a cap assist on this one, especially that I did nearly 89,000 damage to those guys and helped all the potatoes that were sat on this side of the map to deal with everything that was against them. So cap is nearly taken, and as I said, I was pretty much on a YOLO. I didn't think we were going to win this game because of the way that people were playing, and I know there are still 2 destroyers out here, and that is not something that I want to be going up against. But we are spotted. Am I spotted through the gap, or am I proximity spotted? I'm not quite sure. But there is a Mainz CE there who has taken his leave of his teammates and has decided to sit back inside A cap because he has some good arcs on those guns of his and he can get shots across the top. But surely not. There is a broadside Amagi sailing down there. We haven't seen the 2 destroyers, but seeing the located indicator against my ship, I've no doubt there is a destroyer here somewhere. Now, normally I would say if you see a destroyer, shoot at it, but that Amagi is just asking for it, and we absolutely clatter him. And we turn in expecting torpedoes to be coming from this Kagero, because we are spotted, we are proximity spotted, because we fired our guns even though the Amagi is on the other side of the smoke screen. But turning here to get another salvo on, I'm thinking this is going to be kill number 4. Drop the hammer, and RNG completely screws me and leaves him with a sliver of health, which of course that Amalfi is going to pick up for the kill. And then there is the destroyer. Now, I didn't load HE here because I was thinking of pushing against the Mainz. The Kagero puts his torpedoes at the Amalfi, but having turned expecting torpedoes at me, I pull the trigger again, and once again we get screwed for the kill. The secondaries aren't long enough range to pick it up, and the Amalfi picks up his second kill of the game. So potentially a Kraken there, but it is Kraken denied by those cheesy Italians. But we are on a cap again. I've now loaded high explosive because there is one destroyer left. We have a destroyer on our team, and the most useful thing he could do is actually ping the map to give us an indication of where this last destroyer is. But he's not going to do that. And so, with this being a very, very slow boat, not the slowest in the game, but certainly not the fastest, and because I know how this game pans out, we'll get across into a cap, and then we'll do a little bit of a time warp and get towards the end of the match. But this is what baffles me in this game, in that people play the same tactic again and again and again and again and again and again and again, and then they'll do the same thing again. So it's kind of frustrating to see people just repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Yes, there are limited ways to play each map, but that does not mean to say that you have to play the same map the same way every single time. How often do you see battleships go charging up the middle into B cap, knowing that they're putting themselves fully into danger? You don't see it often, and what I often see happen in those cases is the teams are completely unprepared for it. And I think that the last thing that Red Team were expecting to see there was a Massachusetts appearing on their flank, coming round behind them, and then accounting for 2 of the 3 ships that were hanging back there, and then swinging around and coming straight back out into the centre cap to take another cap assist and, well, almost pick up another 2 kills. I was very disappointed that I didn't get those 2 kills, because it would have been another addition to the Kraken collection. So I felt a little bit robbed, having done the work. And this Summers is doing the whole puppy dog thing. He is just following me around. But let's just get forward. So we spent the last few minutes basically sailing around trying to make sure that we avoided torpedoes, and like all good destroyers who've just kited away the rest of the game, which I do sometimes too, this guy fires his guns with a few seconds to spare. So we end up on just under 129,000 damage, only the high caliber to show for it, very nearly a Kraken. But we do get MVP with 2556 base XP and our 3 kills. 2556 isn't bad. It's a slightly above average game, but not amazing. So there you go, guys. You asked me to play battleships. I've been playing battleships. There's a few more battleship games coming up, so do make sure that you smash that like button. Leave me a comment about what your favorite battleship is to play. It can be any tier, and stick around, click a link, watch another video. Until next time, take care and goodbye.